Hello guys and welcome back to another UCL Fantasy video. Today I'm going to present to you my early draft for the upcoming Matchday 11. We are now in the round of 16 and there is a UCL bracket that I'm going to present to you as a first point of this video, and we're going to discuss all the fixtures and what it means for the UCL Fantasy game. Then we're going to see my initial draft for Matchday 11. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to give the rough shapes of my team. Of course, a lot of injuries can happen still, a lot of news may break, so it's not the final team, but it's a good early shape of the side and how I want to proceed with the game. If you want to support me and help me reach my goals, please subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to 3k subscribers. I know that the 5k goal is here, but 3k is an initial stepping stone to reach that 5k, so let's aim for that. Now let's go and see how the UCL bracket is looking. Here is how the UCL bracket is shaping up. I think we've got some interesting games and some unfair games, but we're going to go through them all. Starting with PSG versus Liverpool. So Liverpool finished first in the group stage and now they get PSG in the round of 16. Talk about fairness, but still I think it's going to be a brilliant game. I expect a lot of goals to be scored by both sides. I don't think they're particularly amazing in defense, but in attack I think that they can do some interesting stuff. So that game is going to be focused on the attacking side. If they whoever wins that game is going to face Bruges versus Villa. So this would mean that Bruges versus Villa game from perspective as of now is very interesting from Villa's side, but if you want to save some transfers and not to prepare for the upcoming week, depending on who goes out, PSG or Liverpool, Villa I think is going to take out Bruges. Famous last words, as I expected that to be Atalanta, but still I think that Villa is going to be the heavy favorite there. Then going against Liverpool or PSG, I think that's where the run from Villa will end, but still I believe that it's going to be an interesting fixture to target at the moment. Defensive wise, Villa are not great. Offensively they're okay, but they have so many players rotating there at the moment. There is one staple, and we're going to discuss it in the team sheet. Then moving into the next bracket is Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, a local Madrid derby. I know that those games tend to be very feisty and very spicy, but I expect Madrid to lock it up. Real Madrid, of course, to lock it up and defeat Atletico. I don't know in what shape or form that is going to happen, but I think that's one of the 50-50 games of the bracket. But I still think Real Madrid are going to go through. Buying players from both sides may seem tricky, but you see I've already prepared an initial draft that I'm going to explain everything. But yeah, it's a 50-50 game and I'm not a fan of those type of fixtures, but we'll see with the team. Then we move to PSV versus Arsenal. Sadly, Arsenal have a lot of injuries up front, so their choices up front are limited, but on in the back they are pretty solid, especially in UCL, and I think they're locking it up. Of course, a lot of things can change and a lot of things can happen, but as of now I see Arsenal as a clear favorite against PSV. After that, it's a game against one of the Madrid sides, so it's going to be hard, but for now I think it's a good fixture to target defensive wise, as I don't see a lot of good defensive sides at the moment, but having Arsenal there helps a lot. Moving then to the other side of the bracket, so we move to Benfica versus Barcelona, a repeat of that fixture that they had in the group stages where it ended in 5-4 victory from Barcelona. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, but I see buying Barcelona players as a very good thing to add, as then they will face either Borussia or Lille, and I see Barcelona as the clear favorite of that 4 top teams of the side, so I'll be looking to invest in that Barcelona side. Of course, Benfica is not an easy target, but compared to the rest of the fixtures, I think Barcelona got it easy. So yeah, I think Barcelona are a good team to invest into. Moving into the downside, it's Dortmund versus Lille. It's a little bit of a 50-50 game, but one team has a lot of proven UCL Fantasy players, the other a little bit of a shifty one. Of course, Lille made it out as a top 8 side, which is an amazing feat for them, but I still believe that Dortmund are going to come up top, and I prefer to get players from them. We'll get to that in a second. It's a lot of iffy picks there, but we're going to discuss them. Then we have a local German derby between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. If the game is similar to the league game that they had, Leverkusen will have the upper hand. Bayern were pretty bad. They didn't register a shot on target or something like that. And I feel like Dortmund are going to be playing well. And I think that they can defeat Bayern Munich. And then in the last fixture is Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. Feyenoord surprised everyone by defeating AC Milan. So imagine what a feisty derby we would have had between the Milan derby, between the Milan teams. But Feyenoord decided to have it some other way, and I think here Inter will make it through, of course, with their defensive performance being the highlight. Then a game between Inter and Bayer Leverkusen as a repeat of the group stage game is going to be pretty even, so I think defensive sides from both teams will be interesting to target. Of course, a lot of things can change. Now, the fixtures are a little bit interesting. We'll go down in a second by days, because PSG and Liverpool game is on second day, while the rest of the fixtures here are on the first day. So I was planning to split the teams in two halves and preparing for both halves, but to be fair, we don't know what order they're going to be played as of now, so I'm not going to split them on halves, as Dortmund Lille game is played on the first day, while PSG Liverpool is played on the second. That was very confusing for me, but I believe that's because of the Carabao Cup final that is having Liverpool involved into, so I think that that's the reason they're shaping it up on the second day. But that would mean that we'll have to get, I plan to get a keeper from the one half, and from the other everything else to be like that. You're going to say, but how are you going to predict the halves? I think it's pretty easy. Left side obvious and right side obvious. The sad thing about that is I don't plan to have too many defenders from the first side of the bracket compared to the second, so that will have to change at some period, but it's becoming easier when Borussia is playing on the first day and Liverpool is not. So that way it's helping us, because you see how I'm preparing the defensive sides and what is going to happen at the end. But yeah, probably for the round of 16 that will have to change, around the quarterfinal, sorry. But until we get there, we will know PSG or Liverpool. Then we can get a defender from either side facing Villa or Bruges, and then Real Madrid versus Arsenal probably include some players from that. So yeah, we will have it easier with the transfers that we have and what we can prepare. So the thing is that we have unlimited transfers now. Then we get 3 transfers between Matchday 11 and 12, then 5, then again 3, then 5, then again 3, and then finally 5. So we'll have a lot of time to adjust the teams and to prepare properly for each fixture. But for now, let's go and see how the days are looking and what I mean by those separations of teams and what we can target from those fixtures. So this is a better representative of how the fixtures are split. As I mentioned, PSG and Liverpool game is postponed to Wednesday, most probably because they are playing the Carabao Cup final and they are not going to make it on Tuesday. So that would leave them only one day of rest. So they given them the benefit of the doubt and drop them to a Wednesday fixture. That would mean that on the first day we have Bruges versus Villa, a game that we will know the lineup, so we can see our Villa players. Then we have PSV Arsenal, Dortmund Lille, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. So I plan to have a lot of players from that fixture, so around 7-8ish of those players will get into the first day, and then we will split the rest for the final day. Of course, the big guns are going to play on day 2. I will have to see how this will benefit me and how it will work, because having 2 less of a players play, it's a little bit tricky. Maybe that will change my structure of the team, maybe not. Yes, we have a lot of dilemmas to take, but yeah. Then on second day, we will have Inter versus Feyenoord, so we will know the Inter lineup, so we will not have to guess if some of their defenders are playing or not, which is a beautiful thing. And yeah, I think that sums it up. We'll see how many players from first day and from second day, but I think second day is going to be dominant, because teams like Inter, Barcelona, Leverkusen, Liverpool, PSG, Bayern Munich, all of them will make a lot of teams. So let's see how it lines up. As per usual, we're starting from goalkeeper and going up top. So we're here to build the start of my team. As per usual, we're starting in the goalkeeper's position. As you have seen at the moment, I've picked Sommer and Raya for my goalkeepers to begin the week with, because I think, first of all, Inter Milan is one of the best defensive sides in the world, and Arsenal is another great side, and they have an okay fixture. Both teams face a Dutch opposition, and both teams are playing away at home for the first day. But the good thing here is that Raya is from the one side of the bracket, while Sommer is from the other. So even if both teams proceed to the quarterfinals, I will not have to make any goalkeepers transfers. because I think both players will do amazingly well regardless of their positions, and in the quarterfinals all positions probably will be amazing. So at the end of the day, I will not be betting against any of those sides to do poorly in defense. Zomer has been the standout goalkeeper in my opinion in the group stage, kept a lot of clean sheets and saved a lot of chances, while Raya has been amazing also, and I like having goalkeepers from that perspective. The good thing, once again, they play in each day, and if they proceed to the quarterfinals, even though probably they will face Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen, with my predictions, I still believe that they can have a good game and be prepared, and I don't think they will be that bad of a goalkeepers to have. So that's where I lie. Of course, there are keepers like Courtois, like Oblak, that you can predict one of the bunch. Then there is another option to go for Donnarumma or Alisson. Whoever you believe is going to go, Martinez is an option, but Bruges have been scoring goals and Villa have been conceding, so I would not rely on Emi Martinez. Then on the other side, you have Neuer and Hradecki, if I'm not mistaken, or someone else that's keeping the Bayer Leverkusen goal at the moment. They tend to rotate, but yeah, I don't like it that much. Ter Stegen is not for me, so not Ter Stegen. Szczesny, then Trubin versus Szczesny. No way. Kjobel was another option, but if Dortmund go and beat Lille, I think that I would not like to have that goalkeeper facing Barcelona, even Benfica, so I would hesitate there. Of course, going for the Lille goalkeeper is an option also, but yeah, genuinely I don't like to spend transfers on the goalkeepers, so I want to get the Inter and Arsenal boys in and be done with it. Of course, you can tend to disagree here, but I really prefer those two teams, as they are probably two of the top 5 defensive sides in the world, even though they are away from home. Next week they're at home, so all the best there. Moving into the defensive department here, I think I will surprise a lot of people with my choices, but I have a very solid reasoning for every player there. I'm going to start once again with the Inter and Arsenal players. I have Gabriel and I have De Vrij. I think both are big staples of their defense, and I think Arsenal and Inter are going to have it easier in that sense. So that leaves me with day 1 and day 2 defenders, with Gabriel being day 1 and Sommer and De Vrij being day 2. So I will have options there. I really like how Inter are defending, and I really like the attacking threat from Gabriel. Both are very aggressive defenders. They're great for ball recoveries. They can be a goal threat, as already mentioned. They are making amazing passes, so they can get assists. Of course, you can pick here Dumfries, but I still think that he's rotatable, while De Vrij is that core of the defense, and I don't think he's going anywhere. Gabriel, I don't think there is a question if he starts or not. Of course, you can argue Saliba, Dumfries, there is Darmian, Cherby. Of course, a lot of people can argue, but I think De Vrij and Gabriel are the two best options if you're looking from center back partnerships. A lot of players that you can see here that I have are center backs: Schlotterbeck, Inigo Martinez, Gabriel, De Vrij. I think in that stage of the tournament, those ball recoveries, especially on a clean sheet, are going to be amazing. Gabriel, De Vrij, I think they are leaders in their teams for ball recoveries, if I'm not mistaken, but still amazing players to have at the top level. Then we move to Schlotterbeck. Here I'm a little bit hesitant. Should I go for Dortmund or should I go for Lille? But at the moment I quite fancy the Schlotterbeck pick. He has been amazing, as he has proved against Sporting Lisbon, where a lot of people doubted him, but still amazing option. He has very high potential of ball recoveries. He's irreplaceable in that defense, and he can score a goal from a corner kick. Everything you like from a player. Of course, Lille have been clinical in the group stage. They have defeated a lot of the big oppositions, but I still believe Schlotterbeck is all-arounder better player than anyone from that Lille side. Of course, if Dortmund go out or if they go up, probably Schlotterbeck is leaving my squad, and I will be getting a Liverpool/PSG defender against them, because one of the sides, PSG or Liverpool, are proceeding and facing Bruges and Villa, and I think there we can get the likes of Virgil, of Hakimi. Of course, they're not making the list here because I think both teams will score goals, but then I think they will keep a clean sheet. So Schlotterbeck is that placeholder of a player to get that defender from PSG and Liverpool. So basically, he is to be leaving the side pretty soon. Of course, here a lot of other options are present, but I really prefer the Schlotterbeck ones. Then we move to Barcelona defender and Inigo Martinez, and I really think that Benfica may score a goal or two, but Inigo Martinez have been clinical from corner kicks. He has scored several goals. He has just scored against Atleti. Of course, they conceded 4, and that is not a small feat. But at the end of the day, Barcelona, if they go and eliminate Benfica, then we will face Lille or Dortmund, and that's where I think they are clear favorites. So I want to have a defender prepared for that run of fixtures. Koundé is an option, but I think that Inigo Martinez in general is going to be the safer option. You see that at the end of this video I'll have budget, so probably I can improve to Koundé. But yeah, it's a very close pick, and currently I prefer Inigo Martinez. The final guy here is Grimaldo, and I will be deliberating between him and Frimpong until the end, because when they face a top opposition, Grimaldo literally plays as a right winger, and not Grimaldo, Frimpong plays as a right winger against Bayern Munich, against Inter Milan, against the biggest of the sides. I think Frimpong has been utilized as the right winger position, as Mukiele is behind him, and they have stability, but they have that flying wing back. So that's a very high possibility Grimaldo becomes Frimpong, but this is a placeholder for the Bayer Leverkusen team, and we're going to see and analyze deeper and deeper who is the better option. But for now, I really do believe that this is a placeholder. Don't treat him as something. I want those teams in defense. So Grimaldo is changeable, Inigo Martinez is changeable, Schlotterbeck is the best one from Dortmund, so I'm not going to change it. Gabriel as well, and De Vrij is changeable. So the 3 of the defenders are just placeholders for those teams that I want to have and I want to target. Probably there are going to be players saying why you are a Liverpool fan and not going with Virgil, because they face PSG, and PSG is not a small feat, and I think PSG is going to score goals. That's the reason I'm not going for a PSG defender also, because I think Liverpool will score goals for sure. Real Madrid defenders, Atleti defenders are great, but honestly, I'm not going to go there. As of now, I am keeping that flat backline of 5. 2 teams are repeating themselves, but I really do believe that they are superior at defending than the rest of the bunch, and the draw has been pretty generous to both of those teams. Going into midfield, that is where things get spicy. I have 4 players playing away from home in the first fixture, and yeah, I don't care, honestly. Let's start player by player and why I selected those. We're starting with Dembele. As Colomwani left PSG, Dembele is currently their striker and their player that is getting in the best form of his life. I think Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Vitinha are all good options, but I will not go and not pick Dembele. He is an amazing option, not a penalty taker, but the vocal point of their attack. Of course, in the Brest defeat, he did not get any attacking returns, and that saddened a lot of people. But in the first fixture, he got the best of Brest, so I think Dembele is a no-brainer to go here. Of course, some will argue Barcola is similar, but I really do prefer Dembele, and I think that these 5 players in defense, 3 of them were placeholders, but these 5 are irreplaceable for me. I don't know what will persuade me to move away from that midfield 5 when I knew probably the top 4 that Leverkusen, Barcelona, Liverpool and Aston Villa are going through. I was in on those players, and then Dembele, when he qualified, he got the final spot. But yeah, when the group stage finished, I knew that the 4 of those players are going to be in my team. Still, Dembele, I think, makes a great case for himself. Of course, there is an obvious omission here. There is no Bayern Munich player, there is no Real Madrid players, but I will speak about that at the end. Then we move to Mohamed Salah, and I think that being the best player in the world currently is going to be a very high appeal for everyone. He's on pens. He's irreplaceable if you ask me, for that Liverpool side, and I don't think that Nuno Mendes will handle him. So Mohamed Salah makes the list, and I really do believe that if I see a team without Mohamed Salah, that is going to be a little bit of a questionable side, but that's only my opinion. Then we go to Florian Wirtz, and Florian Wirtz is a big game player. Of course, in the group stages, he hadn't proven himself as one, but against Bayern Munich, he has been so good. He has the best chances, he has all the ball, he has everything, and if Leverkusen are to make something, that is because of Florian Wirtz. I know that I am a little bit probably simping on Leverkusen, but when I watched that Leverkusen Bayern Munich game in the league, I couldn't believe what Bayern Munich side I was watching, and I really do believe that Leverkusen will want a revenge on that. So I think that Wirtz is an amazing player to have. Then we move to Rafinha. Honestly, the biggest mistake of my UCL campaign so far was not having Rafinha for a longer time. Like, genuinely, this guy is second best player in the world at the moment. I am not afraid to admit it. If Salah was not in that form of his life, I think that Rafi would have been lights out the best player. This guy is top and quality. I know that there are mentioning of Yamal, of course, but I think that Rafinha is the best that you can get from that Barcelona midfield, and that's saying a lot. He outscores everyone in that game in every sense, so I really think that Rafi should be in your team. And Rodgers, finally, to round up that midfield. What can I say about Rodgers? He's a guy that delivers in cup performances. Of course, he has some blanks, he has his lows, he has his highs as he's young. But having a Villa side facing Bruges and me not having a player from Villa was going to be criminal. Of course, you can argue Watkins, you can argue Rashford, Asensio, Ramsey, McGinn, but I really do think that at the price of 5 million you're getting Morgan Rodgers to balance your midfield and to negate all the expensive players you have. Whatever budget you have left, I think Rodgers is accessible, and I really do think that he is the best option from that Villa team. As mentioned, I am omitting players from Bayern Munich, so no Olise, no Musiala, no Kimmich, no Coman, no Gnabry, no anyone, but I don't like how they play in midfield at the moment and what points they deliver. I got burnt in the previous round, so they are not going to make the list. I don't have any Dortmund midfielders, being Gittens mainly, but am I picking Gittens over any of those? No chance. No Real Madrid players is a little bit questionable from my side. No Bellingham in particular. I think Bellingham has been amazing and can deliver, but honestly, I don't see a spot to fit him in. At the moment, maybe if one of those sides go out of the tournament, Bellingham will have a place, but at the moment, no way. Atletico Madrid, I don't think I have to argue about. I don't have anyone from Bruges. No Benfica players is a little bit questionable here, but honestly, once again, I don't see myself putting anyone else here. No Lille player and no Feyenoord player in midfield, but when we have those teams in UCL, I don't see a world me not picking. Salah, Wirtz and Rafi are a must, I would say. Dembele has proven himself this year, and not having a player from Villa is criminal. So yeah, that midfield basically pick itself as the proper one. Now let's go and see the attack, because yeah, that was the most toughest of choices that I would have to make. But let's go and see how it looks. So here is my current selection of attackers. I know that this seems a little bit controversial, but hear me out. We're going to start with Guirassy, who has been the highest scorer of the UCL so far, the top goal scorer, and if he hadn't missed the penalty against Sporting, he would have delivered in every single of the 10 match days that he played in. I think Lille are not going to be able to handle him, and honestly, he's the only safe player in that list for me. I think Guirassy, apart from any injury, is going to make way in a lot of sides, and he is going to cause some real damage to that Lille defense. Lille haven't got the best of form as of now, and they've rested for a bit in UCL, so I think Guirassy will continue firing and he will want to prove himself. Just right in the weekend, he scored 4 goals. I know it's in the Bundesliga, blah, 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 but Guirassy has been amazing so far. He has delivered against the biggest of sides, he has delivered against the smallest of sides, and he has delivered against the middle side. So I think all in all, you have Guirassy as a nailed option in my team. Moving then to Vini Jr., and there is going to be an argument between Vini, between Mbappe, between Rodrigo, but I really do think that Vini is the right choice. Last time I went with Mbappe, and it turned out to be the better choice, as he scored 3 goals against Manchester City, but I don't think Atleti are going to leave him that opportunity, and I really do believe that Vini Jr. is probably the better choice. As well, thinking about the quarterfinals, if Real Madrid reaches it, I think that going there, Vini against either Timber or White or whoever plays from Arsenal there when they go to the quarterfinals, because I do think that it's going to be Madrid versus Arsenal. I really don't see how Vini is going to be handled. While Gabriel and Saliba can keep Mbappe at bay, I know that's a bold statement, but I really do believe that Vini is the better choice for me at that period of time. And the final player here is the hardest of options. So we have Pavlidis from Benfica, we have Lewandowski, we have Jonathan David, we have Lisandro Martinez, we have who am I missing? Griezmann, we have Alvarez, and that's without any of the lower sides. I have not mentioned Watkins at all this video, but yeah, one option here is to diversify and pick Pavlidis and be happy with it, because Pavlidis scores in every fixture as it is. He's on pens, and last time around he destroyed Barcelona, and I think that he would like to have it there good, so Pavlidis is an option. I would say Jonathan David has been clinical. I would say Lisandro Martinez have been clinical, and facing Feyenoord is not an easy feat. But I'm taking one step ahead, and I see Lewandowski being the player, but I'll have so many transfers to handle that, and if I see Pavlidis injured or something like that, I can take him out. Of course, that's going to cause a lot of issues. It's very hard to pick 3 forwards at the moment, but genuinely, that's the only position that I'm a little bit questionable about which team I am to target. Either Barcelona, Benfica, Lille, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, a second Real Madrid attacker with Mbappe. I genuinely don't know. So I would want all the help that you can give me with the Lewandowski position. Maybe go for a day one player, but that would mean going for Griezmann, maybe going for another day two, but who from that team? A lot of question marks. Let's see how the team is going to look at day one and at day two, and then we're going to decide if it looks okay or it needs a little bit more balance. So here is how the team is looking, and to be fair, it's looking a little bit interesting for day one of the competition. So I have Raya playing on day one, which is okay. I have Gabriel and Schlotterbeck, which is okay. I have Rogers. Yeah, only one midfielder, not ideal, but as mentioned, it's very hard to replace any of those midfielders. And then I have Guirassy and Vini Jr., so I have the forwards there, which is exciting for me because forwards tend to blank the most and I have to rotate them. But then having on the bench De Vrij, Wirtz, Lewandowski, is going to be hard to decide who to bench. So probably if all of my players do well, I'll have to leave on the bench Inigo Martinez as a first option. Probably De Vrij as a second option. And Sommer as a third option, as I already have the clean sheets. And then I'll have to keep Wirtz out of the side, because I'm not benching Rafi, Salah, Dembele. Lewandowski might be benched, so I might go and pick someone as a banter pick, probably like Pavlidis, so I can have an option to be left on the bench, which sounds crazy, but yeah, am I going to do it? I want to have at least one more playing player on day one, but that would mean leave out for Griezmann, which I can see myself doing. Why the hell not? But this would leave me for the reversed fixture order to have 3 forwards playing on day 2, which is never a good thing because they tend to blank. So that's hard. Changing one of the defenders. So going for a viewer player here, but that's not very exciting. Who am I replacing? Inigo Martinez probably. But then I want to replace that Villa player and I don't want their defenders in general. One more Arsenal, no thank you. Then we have Real or Atleti defender as an option. Yeah, I can see myself doing that. But is it worth it over Inigo Martinez? Probably including someone like Rudiger can be an option here. Or someone from Atletico Madrid just to have the coverage. But it's pretty stretched out. So yeah, probably Inigo Martinez is the only option I see myself benching and scrapping out of the team and getting a day 1 defender. So yeah, Yeah, probably Pavlidis, but that would leave me only with one Barca player, which is kind of dangerous. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament here. I don't know what to do, but probably Lewandowski and Inigo Martinez are the two players that I want to rotate the most. Inigo Martinez being the top pick here, and going for someone like Rudiger is going to cut it, or someone like Alaba. But yeah, Rudiger probably the top shout out here. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard, guys, especially with that Liverpool. If that Liverpool fixture was on day one, I can see myself going for Virgil. And I may not go for anyone, as I would have two more players playing on day one, but two less from Dortmund game. So yeah, probably see myself going for Virgil. But yeah, it's pretty tricky. Write down in the comment section what do you believe. List your teams, how you see it, how you look at it, because I'm a little bit lost. Is 6 players enough? Probably not. But yeah, if that has to work, this has to work. As per usual, at the end of the video, special shout out to all the members of the channel: Seth, Foreign with 30 gifted, Zach, Oscar Pascalser with 50 gifted, and him. Thanks so much. If you guys want to become members, there is the link in the description, and there is a link for the league, there is a link for everything. But if you want to support me for free, please help me reach those 3K subscribers that I'm aiming before the start of the UCL day 1. So let's see if that's possible. I'm 150 away and we don't have a lot of time left, but with you guys I know that everything is possible. Probably with this team selection, you get it there, you tell me and you say what is the best solution there. But for a free hit, not for a free hit, but for a first draft, I think it's a pretty good shaping up and a pretty good way of selecting the players. Of course, I am entitled to all of the changes and I want to hear your opinion. Please do so, but like, comment, and most of all subscribe, because I want to reach that 3K and see where the road will lead me. For now, that will be the end. I will be coming with more updated details, but I want to watch some football before that to have a little bit of updates in order to have it. So for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.